obviously, maybe it goes on to our next topic, which is GUNS.
Says what?
Guns.
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 Carry the two. Oh, guns.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One of your favorite subjects, obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I think the subject came up, I don't know, for you might be in the
Well, because you got 2 little kids now, so
firearm
how do you
business
look
for
at it?
Well, the way I look at it since last year around March is when COVID hit, political distress happened, different opinions came out. Same subject in the media was Trump, Biden, and obviously violence, especially about, what do you call it? Different opinions about how things should be going in this world. I came to the conclusion after what the media was showing me officially on TV, it's time to protect myself. If somebody is going to riot, my local Target, my local 7-Eleven, stands in front of my house, walking through my neighborhood, yelling different type of slogans around, threatening my household, I got a gun up. I got to defend. I got to protect what I have, which is a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old at this time, a dog these days. Actually, the dog came because of that. So I got immediately, just to fast forward a little bit, my my gun carry permit within like 3 weeks. I'm in tactical training since March of last year. Once a week I go have a private instructor teaching me how to feel comfortable with my gun, how to use it properly, how to be safe.
That is great.
Gun safety.
That's the
training
key.
is the biggest deficit in the gun culture. Yeah, for
Correct.
new gun owners. As you go get the gun, you get the ammo, but people just don't put the money into training, which is, like I said, it's the biggest deficit in the culture in the industry, and but yeah, it's it's definitely a must.
Being irresponsible, carrying a gun, having a gun in your household is something I try to avoid. Being grown up in Germany, guns are illegal. You can't even have a knife carrying on you. A knife here in Florida is considered a tool. So I carry my knife on the right, sometimes on the left. I own about 15 different knives these days. It becomes a hobby, it becomes a passion, it becomes a security item you have to carry. If it's going to be used to open up an Amazon box or the local mail, opening up anything.
It's a tool.
It's something you use in
masculine
different
energy.
ways, but it can also protect you in case you come to a confrontation. You have to use, besides your own self-defense knowledge, a tool per se. But speaking of where we are in 2021, so the last 9 months I've been educating myself. I've been buying guns like crazy. It's becoming a shortage in availability, especially ammunition these days. But what I have, I don't leave my house without a gun. I have a gun in my car. I have a gun in my backpack. I carry a gun on my body. Depends on where I go. But my house is spread out with different type of safes, fingerprint, coded. So every possible way, if somebody would ever intrude my home, my dog would be there first. I got a Doberman dog, literally in April, just because COVID shut us all down. We didn't know what to happen. So you may as well get a dog, be part of the family, trainer, become part of this family. And she is a year now and protects the family, loves my kids, is surrounding the house, is by the door immediately. And the point I'm trying to make is I'm just preparing for what if. If. Hopefully nothing will ever happen. And probably it won't. But if it ever does, we'll be able to use our gun, use it with the proper way. We've been educated, we feel comfortable, and protect our livelihood.
Yeah, kudos on the dog. I mean, Doberman's nice, and it's it's definitely got a value of,
Respect.
defense and counterattack. But I mean, for any of the audience listening, any dog that will bark at a sound or what is good. It's just, at the very
good
least,
alarm.
Yeah, they're going to hear and sense anything coming into the home before anybody in the house is going to even realize anything's happening, especially if you're asleep, which is, usually when most home invasions and stuff like that happen is either late in the evening, like between 10 and 1, or early, like between 4 and 6. But it's usually people are asleep. But that dog is he's gonna give you that heads up, and just seconds heads up ahead of time can save your life. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean the dog, even if you don't own a firearm, it's just that extra timing. If you can escape out the back while they're coming in the front or whatever, or call 911. And yeah, it's but just time is such a valuable tool. So the dog is a great choice.
On top of all of that, the reason I got this dog, or the family decided, my wife and I, to actually get a dog and this particular breed, is because I used to own 2 of them back in Germany when I was younger. But the point was not necessarily to hire or to have a protection dog. Mm-hmm. It's a very loyal dog. It's one of the smartest dogs out there, and it integrated with my kids and with my family so perfectly. She's also the emotional support dog. We all carry a lot of emotions, a lot of positive and negative vibes, or what's the word I'd say, other than emotions, with us. And my kids, if they come from school, my wife, after working all day long, that dog is always there, is always happy, is always excited. And
it's a natural stress
reliever. She is a natural, caring and loving dog. And the biggest thing for me is if somebody does approach the house or the area, she's circling my kids. She's around. She protects the crowd, the pack, I want to say. Right. And probably a lot of dogs do. This particular breed is known for that, especially as a female. The female never leaves the house. The male strays around a little bit more. But it has made a very positive impact during these times of isolation, being inside the house or within the vicinity of your own home, not being able to go anywhere. That helped a lot center that and release the emotions in a positive way. So
and that's
the
got
key
to
to
release some stress on you when you're away from the home and your family's there, but the dog is there as well.
That's correct.
Yeah, so that's peace of mind and a stress reliever as well for you.
So that was about the dog. No, about the guns. It's an exciting aspect. It's a very dangerous thing. You need to be aware of what you're doing, how you're doing it. Make always sure it's in safe locations away from children. And
locked up if it's not on your person.
And
because gun safety is the most important thing. It's like we were talking about earlier. It's like, your rifles, your pistols should be in a gun cabinet that's locked, and the only people that know how to get in the gun cabinet know how to handle the weapons. So that way, if you've got little kids like him, it's like he's got little gun safes all over the house that have different guns. So no matter where he is, he can pull one out, and it's not just laying around where the kids that are too young get into it and then harm themselves, because that does happen quite a bit. So the number one thing is gun safety. The idea is you always review the rules. They are don't point the barrel at anything you don't intend to destroy. Always assume that it's loaded, and there's a third one.
Never keep your finger on the trigger.
Never
don't
put your
touch the
finger in
trigger.
the trigger guard, and know your
severe.
target and what is behind it.
Correct.
Because bullets go through a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
and
they go
you are
through
responsible for every single round, regardless. You
Yeah.
can't say it's an accident. Well, you are responsible for every round that comes out of your firearm.
There's, as the saying goes, there's an attorney attached to every bullet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Hollywood is not the best example to go from. I mean, these, it's like if you pound on your door or whatever, you shoot through the door. You always need to identify your target. You just can't do that, But there's numerous accounts across the globe, or at least in America, where
It's also good to have a flashlight on the end of your pistol.
First accessory I recommend to any new gun owner is a flashlight. Yes, but I mean, there's numerous accounts where homeowner hears something in the dark and someone's coming in the door late at night and fires away, and it's their teenage daughter or son, and yeah, that's clearly tragedy. Yeah, you just don't fire indiscriminately through a barrier and not knowing. I mean, there might be a threat, but again, you're responsible for every round. So if it misses your mark, goes across the street into your neighbor's window and hits their child, hits them, or even your dog. I mean, it's not a headache you want, and it's not something you want to live with, even though you might have been in the right and just trying to defend yourself. You still have to attach that responsibility, So, but yeah, it's like I said, training is paramount.
And it's a perishable skill. If you don't practice on a regular basis, your skills will deteriorate.
Absolutely. Yep. No.
That's why the police have to have more training.
Yeah.
I really
so
think
here's the
training.
That's a whole
reality
nother
that we
issue,
talked
though.
about in the Second Amendment documentary was like our local police force, which we won't mention. They get 4 hours a year. So if you need help and you call a police officer, there's a good chance you're getting a bureaucrat showing up that the last time you went to the gun range was a year ago to qualify with his pistol or rifle or shotgun, whatever they have to qualify for based on the department. And when I train the gun range, especially when I go down to Homestead with John Mochabear, Mochabear_actual on Instagram or kineticconsulting.net, it's like you see these targets, these guys that are, I'm not going to mention the agencies, but it's like, man, I wouldn't want those. What John was saying in the documentary was most police, I would not want them shooting around or near me because they just don't practice.
Look
it's
at the UPS incident.
Yeah, exactly. It's a prime
perfect example. Yep. Yeah. John. Yeah, Mocha
It was
Bear.
like six cops.
Tune into his YouTube or whatever. It's like great content, even if it's just a little 15 or 10-minute. Is like just these little sweet little nuggets of information. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. Yeah, I like him a lot.